What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Sunday night's late night news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. Over the course of the next few minutes, we're going to be discussing Harvey Elliott, Zaire-Emery, a little bit on Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo, and a couple of other interesting bits and pieces that should keep you up to date with where we're currently at. A couple of people have been asking about Milos Kerkez, and we believe Tuesday is when he flies in to have his medical. But speaking about final appearances, how did I nudge that one in there? Well, we are having a final appearance here on Anfield Agenda. So, if you would like to come and see us at our last ever stage show, we will be at the Hot Water Comedy Club Liverpool, Sunday the 19th of October for our final ever show. It is an all ages event. We've knocked ticket prices down to just £15 to make it as accessible as we can to everybody, and it is the weekend of the Manchester United game. So if you want to come and see us, ticket numbers are limited and you can get them with a QR code on the screen. Right, my friends, let's get into the news. I want to start off with a conversation around the Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz future. So we know that Bayern Munich are interested in Cody Gakpo, and there was a report to say that Liverpool put a €70 million valuation on Cody Gakpo's head. So we asked the chat tonight, would you take €70 million for Cody Gakpo? Yes, no, or yes, but I'd want more money. And without any doubt, it was very, very clear. 72% of people said, no, we would not sell Cody Gakpo. It doesn't really matter for the money. So that was really clear. Liverpool fans in our community, the 3,000 that voted tonight, said they'd want to keep him. We then asked a similar question because Luis Diaz has been rumoured to be of interest of an £80 million bid from a club from Saudi. And we asked the same question, would you sell Luis Diaz for £80 million? Same answers, yes, no, yes, but for more money. And without a doubt, it was again over 70% that said yes, they would sell Luis Diaz for £80 million. So feel free to let us know in the comment section what you guys think on that one. Or would you be like me and want both of them to stay at the club? Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the way I look at it. So right, Harvey Elliott, let's move on to him. So we know he's doing really well with England and the under-21s in the Euros. And Brighton, according to the Standard over in the UK, are preparing a £40 million bid for Liverpool midfielder Harvey Elliott. I got to say, 40 million quid is a fair price there. If Liverpool can get that and he goes to Brighton or Aston Villa or any of the other clubs that have been interested in him, I think he'll kick on and do well there. As I've always said, if Harvey does leave, I'll certainly have a heavy heart over it because I love the kid. I think he's a brilliant role model. I think he's a good footballer, but he's probably been pushed down the pecking order a little bit more after we've brought in Florian Wirtz. So for his career's sake, I think a move to the likes of Brighton or Villa would be a very good move. And I think a 40 million price tag is not too shabby either. So one question that I was asked tonight on the stream quite a bit was around Jarell Quanza and his release clause. And the question is that, yes, there is a release clause there, but as Fabrizio Romano said, nobody knows what the price is on the release clause. He does say it'll be an important figure. And the way I look at it is this: if we sold him for 30 and 5 in add-ons, you're probably going to have to look at a number of 50 million upwards, because if you're going to want to buy him back, it'll be because he's done well at Leverkusen. And if they're going to lose him then, because Liverpool have a buyback clause, it would probably have to be for a fairly hefty number. So my best guess, and it is a guess, would probably be somewhere up above £50 million in the buyback. But if you're going to trigger that, like I said, it would be because he's done very well at Leverkusen. So again, you probably wouldn't mind paying it if he was doing well. Let's talk about Hugo Ekitike a little bit, because it looks like Alexander Isak and any chance Liverpool had for signing him is out the window because of a whole host of reasons. The price tag, Newcastle's unwillingness to sell, and again, the price tag. So I don't think that's going to happen. There's been reports that Liverpool have offered some type of a swap deal to Napoli, offering them Darwin Núñez and Federico Chiesa for Victor Osimhen. Now, I have to say reports of, because it isn't a matter of fact that we're aware of. But apparently then, Di Lorenzo, the Napoli president, has said, or De Laurentiis, excuse me, has said, no, we want 15 million on top of those two players. And if that was the case, it would very firmly be a no thank you from me, whatever about a swap. 15 million on top? No. So you've got Darwin, who is probably worth 45 odd million, and then Chiesa, who's got to be worth 15 to 20 million pound of anybody's money. I just don't see how you could throw 15 million pound on top of that for a player that has a release clause in his contract below that number. So, if they want to play games, then they're probably going to lose out on Darwin Núñez. But if they're interested in Darwin Núñez, then Liverpool probably would do a deal there. Let's move on to Hugo Ekitike though. Transfer Sector posted this. Hugo Ekitike is one of the players Liverpool have in the list. There were contacts in recent days. They're crediting Fabrizio Romano on this one. Liverpool have been tracking the player and believe he could be a nice opportunity. Nothing advanced because they wait to understand what's going on happen in terms of a transfer fee for Darwin Núñez. There is a feeling in the industry for Frankfurt maybe to drop their price later in the window, maybe from €100 million to 80 or 90 million euro. Now, even if we split the difference there at 85 million euro, you're talking about a 70 million pound fee, which is far more respectable than a, quite frankly, astonishing 85 million quid. For me, I think he's probably a 60 million pound player, but if you had to pay a little bit of a premium, because again, there is a shortage of top class strikers out there, I think 70 million pound would certainly be a reasonable fee to go and pay. But this 85 million pound or 100 million euro stuff is fantasy, in my opinion. I just don't think he's worth that. Not saying he can't get to being worth that, but right now, I just don't see it, personally. Want to move on now to speak about, Liverpool apparently tracking a PSG player. Rousing the Cop and Graham Bailey have said that Liverpool are eyeing a potential swoop for Paris Saint-Germain youngster Warren Zaire-Emery. Now, this isn't the first time we've been linked with him. I remember another one of the outlets or the aggregator accounts linking Liverpool to him in the past. So when we did, I looked into him a little bit. Certainly ticks a lot of boxes, covers a lot of ground, really good energy, young and hungry player. And if PSG were willing to part and Liverpool wanted to bring him in, there'd be absolutely no complaints from me about it. I think bringing him into the squad, it would probably mean that we don't think Stefan Bajcetic is going to make the cut, but I certainly wouldn't say no if it was an offer. But let me know what you guys think. Warren Zaire-Emery, would you want them to come in, maybe compete or cover for Ryan Gravenberch or try and establish himself in the midfield? Certainly wouldn't be one that would worry me. I'd be fairly happy about it if it was to happen. Now let's talk about Jeremy Frimpong. Every time this dude talks, I love him even more, by the way. But this is what he had to say. The love and support I'm getting from the Liverpool fans, it's an amazing feeling, you know, especially as a player. When the fans have your back, it's the best feeling ever. You play with joy and you're proud to be there. I have a great feeling. He hasn't even kicked the ball yet, and let's be honest, we all love him. Be honest, we do. If you've watched him being interviewed, it's refreshing. It is. It's refreshing to see him being so open, so honest, and so upbeat. Speaks very highly about the football club that he's joined, knows he's expected to win trophies, knows that he's a winner and he's expected to be a winner, and spoke very positively about Florian Wirtz as well, both as a player and as a fella. So I'm excited. I think he's going to be a great addition. That is pretty much it for me for now, ladies and gentlemen. But like we mentioned, a couple of things. If you'd like to join our WhatsApp channel, you can scan that QR code on the screen there now. And if you'd like to come and see us in Liverpool, you can either use the QR code from earlier in the video or the link in the description of this video. We're back to normal tomorrow. 4:30 video, 8:45 stream, and a late night roundup. We'll talk to you then. Much love. Bye-bye.